So another issue that I think that we have is in relationships and marriages is that we forget our fundamental needs are very different as male and female. We have God-given fundamental needs that are different. So what happens is I think that you need what I need and you think that I need what you need. It happened in my marriage too. My husband would say things like, "Yeah, you need that, I don't." And I would be like, "Hello, I'm a female. Yes, I need that. I get that you don't." And I think that overall, we get so confused with what the roles are and what we need. So I'm going to kind of break it down a little bit. God designed a woman to be loved. He said, "You love your wife as Christ loved the church." That is the deep, most affectionate. I'm going to work with you. I'm going to forgive as Jesus loved the church. That's what you should have for your wife. And if you look up the definition for love, it's something in the definition about tender affection. Now, when it comes to men, it did not say a woman has to love her husband like Christ loved the church. Now, fellas, I'm not saying go get a woman that don't love you. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying your overall need of respect is what God placed in you. And when you look up the term for respect, it's like to be highly esteemed. And so what happens is we get so caught up in trying to treat a man and showing him love, and we forget that he needs respect. And a lot of times I think that we are disrespecting men and we don't know. We do things like talk over him, not listen, or something simple like you tell him to do a task, you go behind him and finish it as if, and what you're saying is you didn't do it good enough. We may cut him off when he's speaking or not value his hobbies. It's certain things that we do that it's not disrespect is not always loud and cursing. A lot of times we as females think I wasn't disrespectful, but being disrespectful can be silent. And I think that we forget above anything, a man needs respect. And if you don't know, and sometimes let me say this, sometimes respect is subjective because what one man feels is disrespectful, another man may not. So it's very important, ladies, ask your man what makes you feel the most respected. Ask your man, not someone else. Don't ask your homegirl. Ask your man what makes him feel the most respected. But if I'm just going to put it under a general umbrella, those are the things. You don't talk over him. You don't correct him in front of people. You want to build him up. You want to, encourage him and pour into him. You want to treat him with the king treatment. King treatment. I didn't, and does that, can it mirror love? Yes, it can absolutely mirror love, but respect is a different thing than love. And for men, it looks something like this. Maybe she wants, women, we talk, we want to vent. We're emotional creatures. I get so tired of hearing men like, "Oh, she this, and she want to talk." Yes, you can't. And if you don't believe in God, believe in biology. This is the balance. She needs to be loved. Maybe it's you're not, making her feel heard. Maybe you're not making her feel seen or valued. Now, my thing is, you know what? Since men are visual creatures, like let me paint it like this. You treat her like your brand new sports car. You know how you don't want anybody to touch it and you want to show it off and all that attention you give to all the little detail. My cousin loves cars. He's into old schools. Hey, maybe you're into old schools. You know the love and attention that you give to that car. You're supposed to treat your woman like you would treat your ride. And I'm not talking about y'all who are not into cars, but my guys who are into cars, or let's do something else, sports. You know how you are real detailed on your favorite team and your fantasy football and this player, that, and who won the championship and the 7-on-7 and the Super Bowl and all those things, right? Treat your woman with that same way. We feel love, heard, attentive to. You paid attention to detail. And a lot of you all, I get it, you'll say, "I'm just not that type of dude." Try. Try. And again, I'm going to give you the same type of advice. Ask your woman, because every woman is not like me. Ask your woman, what really makes you feel loved, baby? What can I do to make you feel loved? Every woman doesn't need flowers on her coffee table every week. I do. But every woman does not. Every woman doesn't need a new bag. Some women need something. Some women need something else. Overall, it's the same thing. She needs to be loved. That tender affection, that soft side of you. This goes back to when I talked about men who are being overly masculine. That's not going to appeal to a woman who is whole and not broken. She wants the softer side of you so you can appeal to her softer side, the love. And what happens is there's a book, and I don't have it on me. It really changed the way I viewed relationships. It was his need, her needs. If you have not read that book as a couple or even as a single, stop right now what you're doing and get that book. It will change your life. I don't care what you say. And in the book, it talks about that every relationship you have, stay with me, every relationship you have has a love bank. You start off with deposits and negatives, just like a real bank. And it can go like this, your wife, you came home and she greeted you with a smile, and and she rubbed your feet. She didn't nag, she didn't talk about you, didn't put the hang the picture up, and there was points added to her love bank. We are all operating on a love bank system, by the way. And then later on, she said something, maybe you felt emasculated, maybe whatever it was, points were deducted. And so over time, what happens, either you have way more added, way more in your love bank, or you go empty, and sometimes you go negative. So the point about it being love and respect, why it's so important, is a lot of times women, and I'm guilty of it, I'm sure, we are subtracting points from the love bank and we don't even know. And then what happens is, I'm fixing to hurt somebody's feelings. Y'all ready? Sorry, I don't care. He'll go to work, and that, sweet lung fine secretary, she's got a love bank too, because everybody has a love bank system. And she is saying the sweet things. And where you forgot to pack his lunch, she said, I'm going to go to Chipotle, I'm going to grab you something. Then she gets points added. And then you look up, let me say this, I'm not promoting infidelity, I'm just saying a lot of times how it happens. You look up and your love bank with your husband, with your man, it's looking real low, and all the time she's got all these deposits. It can happen just like that. It can be silent, especially when you're dealing with a man who is not really big on confrontation, especially when you're dealing with a man who's not really big on, being aware of his own feelings. A lot of us are dealing with a lot of inner child problems with our partners, and we don't. And I'm not telling you not to fix it. I'm just saying that it can be a problem. Same thing, fellas. You didn't notice. You didn't even take the time to look at her and say, "Baby, is that new lipstick? I like the way you smell. Hey, I like what you said yesterday when you said that I'm going to take your advice." All those things add to the love bank. Hey, you know what? I saw your Amazon cart. I went ahead and, you know, got to purchase the whole cart for you. Just little things to make her feel love. And if these things are not necessarily all those things, but go with it. You're not slow. And then she goes to church, by herself because you didn't go. And the nice young deacon says, I'm gonna pray for you, sister. Oh, that's a nice shade of lipstick. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be, I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just speaking about how the love bank principle, and forgetting that he needs something different than you, baby. And what we'll think is, but I showed him I loved him. Yes, that may be nice, but did you show him you respected him? Were you quiet when you knew he was going to make a mistake? You knew it was going to be a mistake. Were you quiet anyway to say, that's okay. And when he makes a mistake, I'll be here to hold his hand, not say I told you so. We like to say little snide things. Men, what did you do today to show you loved her? I remember I heard a guy say, and this was years ago, I never forgot it. He says he runs his wife bath water, and then this is back before they had towel warmers. He would warm up her towel and, help her get out of the tub. Not that she needed help, but that made her feel loved. When I was married, my husband did a whole bunch of things because, again, here's the thing. That's where we know love language also. Love language is very important to a woman. You have to know her love language. So make this your homework. Number one, read the book. And know that that's based on something biblical. God does not make mistakes when he says you love your woman and you respect that man. And if you know that you have not been the most respectful, maybe you've been beating him down a little bit, maybe have an open conversation to say, tell me what I do that could be better on showing you respect as the head of my heart and the head of this house. Fellas, do the same thing. What can I do to make you feel more loved and seen and attractive, and thus and so forth? Now, let me say this too. If you're dealing with a person who's just all over the place and they're not very self-aware, they don't know, it may be a little harder to have that conversation, but communication and comprehension is key. So remember, our roles are very different, and remember how to cater to your spouse's roles.